In this section, we're going to be taking a look at the route tree. The route tree is a numbering system used by quarterbacks, receivers, and coaches in order to let the receivers know which routes they're going to be running on the field. Now there's 9 essential routes in the route tree, so even though there's an infinite amount of routes that you can run, the route tree contains the 9 foundational routes that you need to know. Now, one quick note for the route tree, all of the odd numbers in the route tree except for number 9, so number 1, 3, 5, and 7 are all outbreaking routes, while 2, 4, 6, and 8 are all in-breaking routes. So outbreaking routes means that the route's gonna break towards the sideline, where the even numbers that are in-breaking routes will break towards the middle of the field. So just a quick tidbit for you, but let's jump into the first route. Welcome back to XP Camps. We educate the next generation of athletes about sports through gaming. If you're looking to improve your football IQ this offseason or find an affordable way to support the content we do here at XP Camps, I recommend you check out our courses at xpcamps.com. Our courses break down over 200 real-life concepts in Madden, so every time you load into the virtual gridiron, you're getting real-life reps on concepts your coaches want you to learn. Become a better, smarter football player, guaranteed, and click the link down in the description to start training today. Now, let's jump back into the video. So the first route on the route tree is going to be the flat route. I have it pulled up on my screen right now. It's going to be ran by the inside receivers, which is Y, Rashee Rice, and A, Travis Kelce. So let's jump into replay mode and see what this looks like. Alright, so here we are in replay mode taking a look at this. Now the flat route is the first route in the route tree. It's number 1, and so if you remember, all of the odd numbers are outbreaking routes, which means they break towards the sideline. Now with this flat route, what you're going to want to do is break towards the sideline and stay close to the line of scrimmage, which is the blue line you can see on the field right here. And so you're going to run, you're going to get 2 to 4 yards worth of depth, and then you're just going to turn and face the quarterback. Now, the purpose of the flat route, there's really 2 reasons I'd like to highlight. The first is, you may have heard this route also be referred to as the check down route. Now what that means is, all of the routes downfield are covered, and so you want to throw to the routes that are closer to the line of scrimmage, where you're just going to pick up some easy yardage rather than trying to get a big chunk play downfield. And so John Gruden, the former head coach of the Raiders, said this a lot. He said to his quarterbacks, you can't go broke making a gain. And what he meant by that is, if everything downfield is covered, rather than throwing an incompletion, trying to force a pass, or taking a sack because you're trying to make something happen that isn't there, just throw it to the check down, pick up a couple of yards, and keep the drive alive. You don't want to just hold on to the ball too long and make something out of nothing. You can't go broke making a gain, so just take the check down routes in the flat and let them pick up a couple of yards and keep your drive alive. Now, the second way that you can use a flat route is to bring down the zone defenders. If you've been checking out some of our 2 route and 3 route breakdowns, then this may not be anything that's new to you, but when you have players down here in the flat, players that are in zone coverage are going to have to inch up a little bit. They can't just continue to give up a free 3 to 4 yards every single play, because then the offense will be able to just march right down the field and get an easy score. And so with these flat routes, you send them out on the field so that these zones can drop down and respect them a little bit. And when these zone coverages sink down to the line of scrimmage to respect these flat routes, it'll typically open up throwing windows downfield so that the offense can get bigger gains. And so that's the second way that you use the flat route, is to try to bring down these zone defenders and open up throwing lanes downfield. The second route on the route tree is the slant route. I have it being ran by both of our outside receivers, as you can see right now, with X Watson and B MVS. So let's jump into replay mode and see why this works. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking down the slant route. Now the slant is the number 2 route on the route tree. And remember, all of the even routes are in-breaking routes, which means they break towards the middle of the field. Now the slant route, how you're going to run this very simply, it's 3 steps, and then you're breaking at a 45-degree angle towards the middle of the field. So you'll see right here with MVS, his inside foot is forward. At the snap, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. He's planting with his outside foot, breaking towards the middle of the field on this 45-degree angle. And when he steps right here, his eyes are getting around to the quarterback to find the football, and then he's gonna secure it and run upfield. Now it's important that you get your eyes around on the break here for the slant route, because this is a quick route. It's typically ran against either cover 3 or cover 4 or man coverage, but it's a very quick read where if you're open right here, the quarterback's gonna get rid of it early, because if he holds on to it too long, he's gonna be throwing you into the defenders that are hanging out in the middle of the field. So this is how you would run the slant route. Again, really quickly, it's inside foot forward, 1, 2, 3, you're planting, breaking to the middle of the field, and then you make sure you secure the catch before you turn upfield. But that's how you'd run the slant route. Let's jump into the next one. The third route in the route tree is going to be the comeback route. I have it pulled up on my screen right here with Watson and MVS on the outside. So let's jump into replay mode and see how this works. All right, so here we are in replay mode taking a look at the comeback route. Now again, quick reminder, all odd routes are outbreaking routes, which means they break towards the sideline. So how this comeback route is going to work is Watson is going to push upfield, and at the start it's going to look like they're running a go route or a streak where they're just running straight down the field. And then once you get about 15 to 20 yards of depth, it just depends on what your coach is teaching up for you, you're going to then break off at the top of your route, break towards the sideline, and then start working your way back towards the quarterback. And so again, this is what it looks like. You're running at the top of your route, you're going to plant with that inside foot and start breaking towards the sideline. So if you've noticed it from the past couple of videos, if you're breaking towards the outside, you're going to plant on your inside foot and break towards the sideline. If you're doing the opposite, where you're breaking towards the inside of the field, you're gonna plant on your outside foot and break towards the inside. So since this is an outbreaking route, we plant that inside foot, and then we start breaking down and working our way back towards the sideline, the quarterback. And one thing that we really want to emphasize here is at the break, it's really important that you get your eyes around and towards the quarterback. So right here, the ball is already out. So if you're turning your head, you need to start locating that football because it's going to get up on you quick. Now, the reason that we throw before the break is we're trying to threaten the defense deep and have them think this is a streak route, and we need to get as much depth as possible because we don't want this streak route to run right past us and get an easy touchdown. And so with the comeback route, it's really important that you're really stressing the defense out vertically and making them think you're running that go route. And then with 15 to 20 yards of depth, you're gonna plant that inside foot and start working your way towards the sideline, getting your eyes around and making sure you're securing the catch along the sideline. The last thing you wanna do is make a great catch while your foot is out of bounds. So just be wary of how far you are from the sideline when you're running this comeback route. But this is how the third route in the route tree would work. So now let's jump into number 4. The fourth route on the route tree is the curl route. I have it being ran by our outside receivers Watson and MVS right now. So let's jump into replay mode and see how this works. All right, so here we are in replay mode taking a look at this. Now again, quick reminder, the curl route is number 4 on the route tree, and all even numbers are in breaking routes, which means they break towards the inside of the field. Now, MVS is going to be running this curl route, and it's very similar to the comeback route in the sense that at the start of this route, it looks like you're running a go route, and you want the defender to feel threatened vertically and think that you're just going to run a streak straight down the field, and they need to respect you over the top, so they're going to give you some cushion and start pressing vertically downfield to make sure that you don't beat them on the streak. This is going to be great for both zone and man coverage. In man coverage, you want this guy to get his momentum moving downfield, so when you get to the top of your route, you can just break it off, and hopefully the defender's momentum will continue to carry them downfield, and you'll be open for an easy pitch and catch. Now at the top of the route, you're gonna wanna plant and start breaking down and facing the inside and face the quarterback like this. So you're getting to the top of your route, you're breaking down your feet, and you're starting to turn and face the quarterback. And same thing as the comeback route and the slant route. At the break, you need to get your eyes around, because as you can see here, as we start getting into our break, Mahomes is already starting to release the ball to where when we get all the way around, the ball is already on its way coming up on you. So whenever you break, make sure you get your eyes over on the quarterback and try to locate the football, because it may be on its way to you, and the last thing you want to do is turn around and catch a football to the face mask when you could have had an easy pitch and catch, but you weren't ready for the ball to come out towards you. But this is how the curl route would work at a very basic level. You could either get 10 to 12 yards of depth. It just depends on what your coaches are coaching up and what your offensive scheme is. But this is what it looks like. Again, it's just threatening the defense vertically, breaking it off, and then settling in right here. And now for quarterbacks, we talk about this in our curl flat breakdown. But quarterbacks, it's important that you get it out before the break, because if they settle in here and they're standing flat-footed, zone defenders and man defenders can recover and then come down on this curl route and defend it pretty well, and then your receiver is standing flat-footed and it's going to be hard to complete the pass. So for quarterbacks, it's important that if you see that this is going to be open, get it out before the break and trust that your wide receiver will get their eyes around and catch the football. But this is in essence what the curl route looks like. The last thing I'll make note of is what's different from this versus the comeback route is you're not going to start working your way back towards the quarterback. You're just going to turn, settle in like this, and just wait to see if the ball is going to get thrown to you. It's not something where you break and now you're running towards the offensive line like you would with the comeback route. You're basically just breaking it off, turning around and seeing if the quarterback is going to hit you on this curl route. But this is the basics of the curl route. Let's jump into number 5. In this section, we're going to be taking a look at number 5 on the route tree, which is the out route. I have it being ran by my inside receivers right now, Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. Now you may notice they're running this route at different depths, where Rashee Rice is breaking it off at 5 yards and Travis Kelce is breaking it off more at like 12 yards. So we're going to break this down in a replay mode and take a look at this. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now with an out route, what you're going to want to do is at the snap, you're going to want to push it downfield. And again, it just depends on the depth. It depends on the play call, what your coach is trying to accomplish with this play. Some concepts, like a flood concept, would require something like Travis Kelce's, where you need to get more depth to get over the curl flat defender. Or it could be a quick high-low read that you're trying to create. Maybe you're facing a cover 2 and you're trying to make this flat defender make a quick decision. It all just depends. But whether it's 5 yards or 10 yards, the route genuinely works the same. So with Travis Kelce here, at the snap of the ball, he's going to be running straight downfield. And it's the same thing as the comeback route or the curl route. When you're running straight, you want to make the defense feel threatened vertically before you break off and run underneath them. So right now, it feels like they may be running a go route in the seam, and these defenders are going to want to get a little bit more depth to not get beat deep over the top. And then at the top of your route, when you're breaking, it's again, you're going to plant on this outside, or in this inside foot, excuse me, and then you're going to break at a 90-degree angle and run straight towards the sideline. And so that's all you really need to do for the out route. Again, you're running straight forward. When you reach your desired depth, you plant that inside foot, you break to the outside, and then you get your head around and you start looking for the football. And then if we look here with Patrick Mahomes, again, he's throwing it at about the break where Travis Kelce can just get his eyes around, locate the football, catch it, and then just get out of bounds or get upfield. And so this is how the out route works. It's very simple. It's you run downfield, you take a 90-degree turn. We could look at it one more time on the opposite side with a little bit more shallow depth with Rashee Rice here. Rashee Rice is going to get about 5 yards downfield. Not even, right here he gets about 3 yards downfield, plants that inside foot, and is now getting his eyes around and is breaking at that 90-degree angle and is looking for the football. So same thing on this side of the field. You're running straight for as long as your coach has schemed up, then you plant that inside foot and you break at a 90-degree angle towards the sideline. If you're enjoying the content and want to continue improving your football IQ, check out our courses over at xpcamps.com. We offer fun, engaging, and affordable training aimed at making you a better, smarter football player, guaranteed. Let's jump back into the video. Now, we're going to be taking a look at number 6 on the route tree, which is the in route or the dig route. I have it being ran by my 2 inside receivers right now, Y, Rashee Rice, and A, Travis Kelce. As you may notice, they're running the same route, but at different levels of depth. It's the same as the out route, where you could run it 5 yards deep, 10 yards deep, or 12 yards deep. It just depends on what your coach is calling up and what the offense's plan is for this specific play. But let's jump into replay mode and break this down. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now the in route is the exact same as the out route. Now you're just breaking towards the inside part of the field. So here with Travis Kelce, he's going to be running a 12-yard dig route or an in route where he's going to be running straight downfield, plant that outside foot, and then break towards the inside at a 90-degree angle, and then is just going to run right across the field like this. And so again, same exact thing as the out route. Now it's just the opposite, where instead of planting your inside foot and breaking out, you're planting your outside foot and you're breaking in. And now you just need to run to the opposite sideline on this straight line, and in hopes that the quarterback is going to see you when you're eventually open. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side of the field just to highlight Rashee Rice really quick. Again, with these in routes and these out routes, it's not just a 10 or a 12 yard. It could be a really short in route or a really short out route. And so we'll see it here with Rashee Rice. He's going to be running, and then at about 3 or 4 yards, he's going to plant that outside foot, break to the inside on a 90-degree angle, and now he's just going to be running to the opposite sideline in hopes that he gets targeted by the quarterback. And so that's how the in route would work. Again, a lot of similarities with the out route. Now you're just breaking over the middle of the field. Now we're going to be taking a look at number 7 on the route tree, which is known as the corner route. So I have my inside receivers running the corner route with both Y Rashee Rice and A Travis Kelce. So let's jump into replay mode and see how this works. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now Travis Kelce is going to be running the corner route. The corner route is very similar to the out route. The biggest difference is the depth that you're getting at your break. For the out route, you're going to break, turn at a 90-degree angle, and run straight towards the sideline. Well, with this corner route, it starts out very similarly. You're going to get 12 to 15 yards downfield. It just depends on what your coach is coaching up. In this example, we're going to get 15 yards downfield, plant that inside foot, and then break at a 45-degree angle towards the sideline. And then Patrick Mahomes is just going to pass lead you towards the sideline. On these corner routes, typically, if you're going to miss towards the sideline and throw it out of bounds, because if you throw it behind your receiver, typically that's where the defenders are going to be, so it could be broken up or potentially intercepted. So if you're going to miss wide towards the sideline and just let it sail out of bounds. But this is what the corner route looks like. Now, one thing that I want to highlight with the corner route that we do on this side with Rashee Rice, you can do something with this route called flattening the route, which means you're not going to get as deep downfield. You're going to try to break it off, and it's not going to be exactly like an out route. You're going to still get more depth than the out route, but you're not going to get as much depth as you saw with Travis Kelce. And so we'll see with Rashee Rice here. At the top of his route, he's going to plant that inside foot and break towards the sideline. But if we were to look right here, Travis Kelce is getting a bit more depth. He's about 2 yards deeper than Rashee Rice. And the reason being is you want to flatten out your route sometimes so that you could run this corner route underneath the deep defenders. So if you run a soft corner route like Travis Kelce here, you run the risk of running into the deeper defenders on the field. Whereas if you flatten out this route a little bit and make it closer to an out route versus a soft corner route, you could break this off and run in front of the face of the deep zone defenders rather than gradually drifting into those deeper defenders. So when you hear your coach say flatten out the route, what he means is don't try to run a soft corner route that is threatening more vertically. Instead, break off that route and run it a bit more like an out route so that you can cross the face of the deep defender but still get enough depth to clear the underneath defenders. And so if you hear the term flattening out your route on either a post or a corner route, that's what the coach is referring to. In this section, we're going to be looking at number 8 on the route tree, which is the post route. Now the post route is ran very similarly to the corner route, but now instead of breaking towards the sideline, now you're breaking over the middle of the field. I have it pulled up here with X Watson and B MVS. Now if you can notice, their post routes are not being ran the same. X is running more of a skinny post where he's getting more vertically downfield, whereas B, MVS on the right side of my screen, is going to be breaking that route off and flattening it out a bit more so that he could break in front of the deep defenders rather than pushing this route vertically downfield like X is. But that's just one thing I want to highlight before we jump into replay mode and check this out. Alright, now here we are in replay mode taking a look at this. Now MVS is going to be flattening out this route a bit more, which is a concept we talked about in our corner route section. But what he's going to be trying to do is when he's running in a straight line, he's only going to get about 10 yards of depth here, and he's going to plant that foot and start breaking towards the inside part of the field. Now, rather than running at a 40 to 50 degree angle, he's going to be flattening this out and making it closer to that 90 degree angle. And what that does is that allows you to break in front of the deep zone defenders, so you're not as much running into them, rather you're catching the pass in front of their face. And then he's just going to be pushing it downfield, and you can see here at the top of the routes, well, not at the top of the routes, but deeper downfield, you could see with number 84 here, he's going to be running a skinnier post where he's going to be planting, but he's just going to be running a bit softer of an angle, and he's going to be pushing more vertically downfield. And we know that one is flattening it out and one isn't, because they broke at around the same spot on the field right here, about 11 yards downfield. But they don't collide into each other downfield, despite the fact that they're both running post routes. And the reason being is MVS flattened out his route a bit more, whereas Watson on the outside here did more of a, what we call a skinny post, where you're more just pushing vertically downfield. It's almost like a go route, except you're breaking at the top of that route and running more at like a 45 degree angle. But you can see they don't bump into each other here because MVS has flattened it out, whereas Justin Watson here is more running that skinny post on the outside. But like I said, same thing as the corner route, but now you're just breaking towards the inside part of the field. And then Patrick Mahomes is going to pass lead downfield here for an easy pitch and catch for Justin Watson. So this is what number 8 on the route tree looks like. Again, very similar to the corner route or the dig route, where you're getting upfield, breaking towards the inside part of the field at a 45 degree angle, and now you're pressing the defense vertically. Now we're going to be taking a look at number 9 on the route tree, which is the go route. Now, even though number 9 is an odd number, this route doesn't break inside or outside, and you can see what it looks like on my screen right now. All 4 receivers are running this route, and it's literally just a straight line downfield, so I'm not going to go into replay mode and break it down. A lot of the technique with running a good go route really involves the release off the line of scrimmage, and I'm going to be covering wide receiver releases in a later section on this channel, so you're going to want to check it out. But with the go route, streak route, whatever you call it, it's pretty straightforward. You're just running in a straight line downfield, and you're either trying to A, clear out the deep defender so that the underneath routes can get open, or you're just trying to beat the deep zone defenders in a foot race so that you could get wide open for an easy pitch and catch. But this is the go route, and this is what it looks like. If you found value in this content and you want to support us, make sure you drop a like and a sub, and check out our courses. The link is in the description below. I'll catch you all in the next one.